Hello, boys and girls. It's me, the Freeze Park. Um, I've been playing a lot of Nick All-Star Brawl. Of course, it's super fun as heck. And apparently, someone close to the devs of the game made this uh, poll featuring a heckload of characters uh, that could be potential DLC, and we get to vote on them. 0 to 5. And I think I'm just gonna go through them and talk about them a bit. Slurp. Okay, so starting with Squidward, we got SpongeBob stuff at the top. Squidward, I would actually be really cool with, because here's the thing. All the SpongeBob games, most of them, I mean, you obviously always get to play as SpongeBob. You sometimes get to play as Patrick. A couple times you got to play as Sandy, but you never get to play as Squidward or Mr. Krabs, and I always thought that was a bit weird because they're very essential to the show, as Patrick or Sandy are. Um, so I think both of them, Squid and Krabs here, are great potential for fighters, especially Krabs. I think he'd be a great fighter. Um, I also thought it was a bit weird that the Krusty Krab was not a stage in the game in Nick All Stars. I feel like that's one of, like, in the top three most iconic Nickelodeon settings. And the fact that that wasn't a stage at all, but like Glove World was, I thought that was a bit weird. Plankton, I'm not as hyped on, but I think it'd be cool. There's like no villains at all in the game right now, except Zim, if you really want to count Zim. Um, but other than him, there's really nobody, and I think that's kind of weird because, Smash has a bunch of villains, the Cartoon Network fighting game had a bunch of villains, and there was even that one Nick game, Globs of Doom, where you played as the protagonist and their respective villains. So I think Plankton would be cool. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy I would love. I actually put them in my original wish list for the game. Uh, I wouldn't really want them in this design. I would want their gross old designs. But I think that they would be a great idea. Doodle Bob I thought was stupid at first when I first saw this, but now that I'm thinking about it, I actually think that could be cool. Um, and it does have potential to be its own fighter, funnily enough. Like, you would see Doodle Bob and you would think it would just be a SpongeBob clone. No, he has the pencil. He could do a bunch of different stuff, so I think he'd be cool. Man Ray, I think that would be cool. Um, Larry the Lobster, I don't. Eh, I think that would kind of be stupid. It would kind of be redundant if we got Mr. Krabs and then Larry the Lobster. I think it would kind of just be the same thing. Squilliam, I think this would be stupid. We don't need Squilliam. What the fuck would he even do? Pearl, I think it could work. I don't really see her as that essential of a character, but um, it could be cool, I guess. Bubble Bass, I think would be stupid, but I wouldn't mind it. Um, and then yeah, I guess that's it for SpongeBob. Fairly Odd Parents, I think it's weird that there's nothing from this show in the game, especially since there was Fairly Odd Parents stuff in the app version of the fighting game from before this game. Um, I think Timmy definitely deserves a spot. Of course, I mean, of course, he's one of the most iconic Nick shows. He definitely deserves it. Timmy's dad, I'm not as hyped as this. I don't really think Timmy's dad is that funny. Vicky, I think, would be okay. I'd give that like a 3. Crocker, I wouldn't really care about. Jorgen, would be cool, but the Crimson Chin is the strong character from this show to go with more than Jorgen, in my opinion. Jorgen's kind of a boring character to me. Crimson Chin is awesome. But maybe he would be a bit too similar to Powdered Toast Man, and I could see that. Really, more than anything, I would just want to see Cosmo and Wanda on their own, but I guess if Timmy was in the game, then they would be a part of him, I guess. Jimmy Neutron. Jimmy deserves to be in completely. He's again one of the most iconic Nick characters. I've I thought it was really strange that he wasn't in the game. I was kind of expecting him to be. Um, Even in my original wish list for this game, I put Hugh Neutron in it, kind of expecting that Jimmy himself would be in, but he was not, so it's a bit weird. But I would love Jimmy, and then if Hugh came along later on, that would also be really cool. Carl, I don't really see, or Sheen, honestly. Um, I love these guys, but they don't really need to be fighters. Ultra Lord, if they don't do the Crimson Chin, then they got to do Ultra Lord. It's pretty much the same thing. Avatar, I think Avatar is pretty well represented. I guess. I mean, Azula would be kind of cool. I don't really want Sokka, and then Zuko would also be kind of cool, I guess. I don't think they had a fire. Yeah, they don't really have like a fire character from Avatar in the game, but I don't know. I think Aang, Toph, and Korra are good. They don't really need more than that. Rocco, I also was very surprised Rocco is not in this game. I don't really want Rocco, but Heifer would be awesome. I think Heifer's a great pick. Um, Really, really big man, I think would be kind of cool. Um, but again, it kind of falls into the powdered toast man type thing. I wouldn't want a bunch of stuff like that. Like I wouldn't want, you know, Crimson Chin, Ultra Lord, really, really big man, and powdered toast man all in the same game. It kind of just gets redundant after that. Jenny, Teenage Robot, obvious one to have here. I was also very surprised that she did not make it in the base game, but it seems like she's definitely going to be put in for DLC. It just seems that way. It seems that her and Jimmy will definitely make it in eventually. And then we also have Queen Vexus down here. I love Queen Vexus. Her design's really cool. She should be in. Very cool villain. Otis, I think I actually wouldn't mind at all. I think he's a pretty iconic Nick character when it comes to the 2000s. Doug, I would be fine with if it was more of like a Quail Man character and not just Doug, you know? But I mean, yeah, he deserves to be in. Of course he does. Roger, though, I don't really care. Skipper from the Penguins Madagascar. This interests me that this is here. I know Kung Fu Panda's also in here somewhere. It surprised me that this is here because this poll is made by someone who's close to the devs, so I'm kind of assuming like this poll is like everything they can get away with if they wanted to. I'm assuming that's what it is, but I don't know because the DreamWorks stuff is a bit questionable, but I wouldn't mind it at all. Fanboy and Chum Chum I think should be in the game. Honestly, they're not really that iconic, but I think they would work perfectly. This dude Kyle, nah, not really, but I mean he could work. Boog, he's pretty cool. I'll give him a 3. Dib, Professor Membrane. I don't really see Professor Membrane that much, but I think Dib could work. I think he'd be cool to have. I would like him, because then there would be another villain character. I mean, not really properly a villain character with Dib, but another antagonist, I guess. Arnold, um, I'm a bit torn on because I feel like he definitely deserved to be in the game, but I also don't see why he would be a good character. I feel like anything they could do with Arnold is already covered by Lincoln Loud a little bit. But I mean, he deserves to be in the game if they can make it work, but I think he wouldn't be a very interesting character. Gerald, I think, kind of falls in the same way, but I see more potential with him than Arnold. Actually, I would love to see either of them, but I think they should be in because they have interesting ideas for them, not just because they're iconic main characters. Our Real Monsters, I think Oblina was perfect. I don't really think they need other ones in, so I'll give a 2 to both of them. But if they did put in, see, I'm thinking more of like a sequel rather than DLC for these guys. It would be cool if there was like a Pokemon trainer in type thing if they do a second game where you just switch between Ickis, Crumb, and Oblina. I think that would be pretty cool, but I don't think these two should be on their own at all. Rugrats, this one's a bit weird. Um, I don't know how legit it is, but there was kind of theories going around that the other character they're bringing into the game when Garfield gets released is Tommy Pickles in the Reptar wagon. And if that's the case, I would love that. I would love that. But on their own, I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do with these characters? Angelica, I think, has more potential because she was in the phone game, the app version of the fighting game. I don't remember what she did, but she was her own character. I see Angelica more than any of these other ones. Um, so yeah, Auto Rocket. I don't like Rocket Power at all, but I wouldn't mind it as a fighting game character. Making Fiends. This will never happen. They will never be in the game. Okay, let's get that. Uh, let's get that across right now. We are never getting Making Fiends characters in this game. But Vendetta would be pretty cool. I don't really care about Charlotte though. She's just a little sunflower. Stu Pickles. I would love Stu Pickles. I don't know what he would do. Or no, actually, I think he could have a lot of potential since he makes toys and stuff. That could be part of his moveset. But I think it would be really cool, especially as like a tribute to the voice actor who passed away, I think, 1 or 2 years ago. Snap from Chalk Zone, easy. Kind of surprised he wasn't in already, but I guess he's not that iconic compared to other stuff that did make it. But he should definitely be in. I've been hearing Snap and Rudy. I kind of wouldn't like that as much. I would just want Snap, because look at Snap. He's awesome. Vlad from Danny Phantom. Nah, I don't mind. I kind of like Danny Phantom, the show, but um, that show really didn't have many memorable villains to me. And this dude was definitely not one of them. Poe, Kung Fu Panda, I think that'd be cool. If any DreamWorks guy made it in from the ones that are here, I think Poe would probably be the easiest one. I mean, he already fights, so it'd be pretty easy. El Tigre, I thought this was a maybe not an obvious one. I'm not really that surprised that he didn't make it in the base game, but uh, when the game was first announced, I was kind of thinking like if Jenny or El Tigre aren't in the game, then that's stupid. Um, I'm not totally surprised in the long run, because El Tigre is pretty obscure, but I mean, come on, he would work perfectly. He would be so easy to put in this game. Eliza Thornberry, we already have Nigel, so we're good. Tack, I don't really like Tack, but I mean, it would be easy. It wouldn't be a completely out of left field thing to do, but I don't know. I don't really like Tack. He was kind of a really boring character. Laura, I don't really see um at all. I mean, maybe as a Nick Jr. thing, I think it would work, but I would rather see Swiper, and he's not on here. Swiper would be way cooler than this. Kappa Mikey, I think would be perfect. But I believe they actually sold the rights to this dude back to the creator like last year. So maybe kind of too late for that, but he would be really cool to have. Blue from Blue's Clues? No, come on now. Um, Wubsy? I could see it, but who cares? Backyardigans? No. The Mighty Bee, she would be cool. I could see it, I guess. Um, it wouldn't be the most hype thing ever, but I think it'd be cool to see. More Ninja Turtles. I think they picked the two that deserve it the most. Donatello especially shouldn't be in. Raphael, maybe. Maybe. Splinter, no, I don't really want to see that. Also interesting that Shredder's not here, because that's the one that people have been speculating as the next character. Henry and June, I would love. That would be awesome. But I don't know what their moves would be. I don't really think this will ever happen, but I would love it. Tough Puppy, I think this is a cool idea, but I feel like this specific show could really thrive off of its villains being put in the game, like the rat, Snaptrap, or whatever. The chameleon, he would be really cool. Um, Kitty Catchwell would be cool. Dudley Puppy, I think they would both be really cool, but I would also want to see one of the show's villains because the villains on that show are pretty cool. I don't know this chick, Glitch Tex, but whatever. Angry Beavers, I think should definitely be in the game. Yeah, it'd be a cool like ice climbers type thing. Pinky Malinky, I don't even know who this is. He looks ugly. Um, Kid Danger, I'm pretty sure he was in the app version. Whatever. I don't really care. I don't want it, but whatever. Parker Jake, I don't even know who this is, to be honest. Looks stupid. Loud House, I don't really think any of these other ones deserve to be in, except for Luna right here. I think Luna could have some pretty cool potential, but other than that, I don't really want any of these other ones. Josh and Parker from Mr. Meaty, I can't see it. Cat Scratch Trio or Duo, I would definitely want all three of them. I wouldn't just want one of them. So yes, all the way if it's all three of them as like one character, but I don't really care if it's just one of them. Harvey Beaks, no. Rango, I think would be awesome. This would be so cool. Uh, and so easy. Like his moveset is written out plain as day. And then Robot and Monster, I wouldn't mind at all. I think it'd be cool. I think it would fit. But I don't really see them doing this, but I think it'd be cool. Um, so there we go. Ha cha cha cha.